In this LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga video, we are going to be taking a look at some changes TT Games have made to the game. From the removal of a location that you're able to travel to on a planet, plus some improvements they've made to the visuals of the game. I'm going to be sharing with you all of these details, but before we do get into them, make sure you do subscribe to my channel for more LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga videos, including news updates. So, for no particular reason, I decided to go back and take a look at the gameplay that featured in adverts by LEGO back in October 2020, when the game was originally supposed to release. And I wondered if there were any significant changes to what we have now in the real game, because there were 18 months between these adverts airing on YouTube and TV to when the game actually did release in this April. The first thing that stood out to me and reminded me that this was a thing in the advert was when we saw gameplay of Poe's X-Wing and Anakin's Jedi Starfighter flying around Geonosis. You could see the location you could travel to on Geonosis was the Petraniki Arena, whereas in the game, it's not, it's the Hive. This could mean previously you would have been able to fly to the Geonosian Arena as opposed to the Stalgazin Hive, or in addition to that, because in this gameplay we don't see the Stalgazin Hive location tag. It could genuinely just be a typo. It was supposed to be the Hive location, but someone put the Petraniki Arena for some reason. In the final game, you will see it says Stalgazin Hive with Geonosis just above it, and the circle iconography is a little bit bigger, whereas the Petraniki Arena doesn't have a Geonosis label, it's a much smaller circle icon, and Geonosis has its own tag. This is not present in the game. In the same bit of gameplay from the advert, we can see the icon for Tatooine space. There is the text, and then just above it is a circle with some arrows. But in the final game, we do have the actual planet icon for Tatooine, and the tag is more in line with that we see for the Stalgazin Hive location when you're travelling to Geonosis, so it's more uniform, which is good. It definitely looks much better like this. The engine effects also look better on Poe's X-Wing. Moving on to the next set of changes, and this one is from General Grievous on Utapau when he pulls out his lightsabers just before you're able to fight him. The animation has changed a little bit because the camera does pull away in the advert far earlier than the one that we have in the actual game, but you can see that the lighting has significantly changed. It's much more darker in the release version of the game. You also can see some battle droids behind General Grievous in the final release, as opposed to none in the advert version. And one of the main issues people had with the first gameplay trailer of this game was that all of the clone troopers on Utapau were plain Phase 1 troopers. Of course, these were phased out for Phase 2 troopers. As for the next set of changes, we are taking a look at the cutscene at the end of the Battle of Hoth mission. So you can see that AT-AT is being pulled down by the snowspeeder, but if you notice, the background is quite different in terms of the terrain. The Hoth Mountains have more snow on. There is less snow being covered in the advert version and far more snow in the actual release version. Even though the actual terrain is basically the same, they've just added more snow and touched things up to how it should look. There is also more visual effects when the AT-AT does land on its front. And last but not least, we can see more detail on the AT-AT in the release version of the game. On the left-hand side with the advert, the top of the AT-AT is fairly smooth in two different parts, right? There are no studs. But in the release version, you can see the studs showing on the top of the AT-AT, which is far more realistic, because the actual LEGO sets show studs like this. What do you think of these changes? Let me know down in the comment section below, and if you did learn something new, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe so you don't miss future Skywalker Saga videos. If you missed any of the previous videos on screen, if you missed any of the previous Skywalker Saga videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next Skywalker Saga video. Goodbye.